Hello, my beautiful YouTubers, my tribe. Thank you for coming back today. Well, we have a big topic today. We're going to be talking about healing the trauma around the masculine sexual energy. There's a lot of issues around here. We'll talk about the different beliefs that exist that have created so much trauma around the masculine. We'll talk about how to heal the masculine sexual energy around the trauma. We'll talk about why it's important to do that, why it's important to heal it, and what happens if we don't heal it. And talking about the differences between the wounded masculine, which is the trauma, the masculine sexual energy that's filled with trauma, and then how we make our way to the healthy masculine sexual energy. Okay? It's a big topic today. I love this. If you don't know who I am, my name is Leanna Walden, and I'm a relationship and sexual well-being specialist. I've been around for a long time. I have over 200 videos. Check them out. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I'd love for you to be part of this tribe. Today I've created a vital energy incantation for all you guys out there, all you men out there, all of you who need a boost in that vital energy, shifting you into a very healthy, loving, masculine sexual energy. So get that below, sign up for it, and I will get that to you as soon as possible. What else? Yeah, that's the way to start here. So we're going to get into this topic. Now, the masculine sexual energy has had just as many problems that it's had to face as the feminine sexual energy. The belief systems that revolve, the old beliefs that revolve around what is this masculine energy, this masculine sexual energy, have been very distorted and have created a really big wounded masculine energy. Okay, so what I mean by wounded is, I mean that it's not a healthy way of expressing sexual energy within the masculine. It's wounded, and there's trauma around that because of the different beliefs that men have been fed, that over the years that men have been fed to believe that are true, that are actually not true at all, and that have actually created disconnection from the masculine sexual energy and disconnection from the feminine because of the nature of the kind of information that men have been fed. So there's that. There has been a lot of abuse around the masculine sexual energy to the masculine, but also abuse within the masculine, so the masculine has been the abuser as well. So because the masculine has been unsure of what to do with this sexual energy that's so big and powerful, and it's been fed the masculine's been fed a lot of bullshit crap beliefs about what it means to be a masculine sexual energy. Then there's a lot of abuse that has come out that's been a lot of abuse, let's say a lot of frustration, which turns into violence, which turns into violence and attacking, and because this energy is big, it's not sure where to go, and so it comes out in the very aggressive way, right? So we've got a lot of healing to do around that. And also, like within these belief systems and the trauma within the belief systems, there's a lot of beliefs that have screwed up the way the masculine sexual energy thinks about and views the feminine sexual energy. So we'll get into that as well. But let's first talk a little bit about some of these old beliefs. What do you mean by old beliefs, Leanna? Beliefs that have created trauma within the masculine sexual energy. Well, first of all, one of the main beliefs that still rides today and that has really screwed up sexual connection is that men are made to believe that they should know everything about sex, that they should know what to do, that they are born knowing, they are born knowing what to do sexually with the woman, with the partner, how to perform, because you have the external sexual piece of anatomy, the penis, the cock, whatever, and it's very visual, and either it's soft and therefore not performing, or it's hard and it's performing. So you've been given that dominant position of, well, you know what to do. You're the leader here. You know how to lead her through her pleasure. And so if you've grown up with that kind of belief your whole life, then with that comes a lot of frustration, comes a lot of, misunderstanding, fear to even ask what to do because you're expected to know what to do. So a lot of fear sits within the masculine sexual energy because there's fear to even ask, there's fear to even question. I should just know. Why don't I know? Or fear in the kind of feelings that you might have. Now, there's a lot of beliefs around this the masculine energy that you should not have these emotional feelings. These deeper desires should be, controlled and should be directed and not be voiced and not be told to your partner, or certainly not your intimate, wife, partner. Don't express and don't tell it because they're naughty, they're disgusting. You don't want to be considered like a pervert or anything like that. So we're told to hold in our emotional state, hold in the emotions. The masculine is told to hold in those emotions, not to express them, not to allow them to flow, not to be free with them. And that causes a lot of problems. That causes a lot of trauma, right? If you're holding in desires because you think that you feel shameful to have them, you feel that if you say anything to your partner about what you really feel, what you really would like to do, that they're going to leave you or think you're nuts, or that why don't you know how to do this kind of sexual thing because you're the man, I'm waiting for you. That's we're going to get into that around the feminine, waiting for the masculine. So there's those kinds of beliefs. There's a belief that all men love sex and all they do is think about sex, Not true at all. Everybody is, yes, everybody thinks about sex and likes to have, to think about sex, but it's not that it's always on the mind and that it's the only thing that people think about. It's a big aspect of what we think about, and because it's our vital energy, it's our life force energy. But if we say that all men think about is sex, it really puts all men into this category of, and then sex itself is considered very taboo and very wrong to express, and you can't be emotional about it. So then you get all these weird kinds of things coming together and make it, and actually start to create just a repressed state, right? You can't express it. You have these feelings. You're supposed to like it all the time. You're supposed to want it all the time. Want what exactly? You're not allowed to express what it is that you really want. So there's a lot of really held in feelings, and energy gets really, really held in. And we start to create this very wounded masculine. Unable to express, unable to know really what the desires are, unable to say anything about the desires, unable to be vulnerable because it'll look weak. And masculine sexual energy should not look weak. It should be always strong and ready to go, but it's not the case at all. And so you get all of this mesh of what is thought should be the masculine sexual energy. And then you get, on top of that, you get all men are rapists. Now we're going to throw that big one out there because I've heard this, that from many people, it's just absolutely shocking to me. And people say, yeah, all men are rapists. Why? Well, because all men, because of the things that I've said, all men all they think about is sex, that, they just want women for sex, just really horrible beliefs around men that everybody has, and then that men sit with and they don't know what to do with these beliefs because they really are creating a lot of trauma in the body. And then it gets to a point where one can't even express themselves. One can't even know how to express oneself. One can even know that it's allowed to express oneself. So you can see how the wounded masculine starts to be built up and how it exists very strongly today. Now, the other aspect of this wounded masculine and the sexual energy is how the masculine is told to perceive the feminine, right? it's very directed towards the feminine as the sexual object, the sexual physical object, right? So it's looking at the tits, at the ass. And women are, yes, beautiful, but it's turned into this extremely one-dimensional physical look, you know, the tits, the ass. When, you know, and it's portrayed in media, it's talked about. I'm living in Brazil, and you know, the ass, it's all about the ass. It's like, how big is that woman's ass? Oh, she's beautiful, look at her ass. And women spend so much time trying to develop these big asses because that's what makes them sexual and beautiful and attractive to men. And we're fed this information, this bullshit. Well, maybe you don't even, you're not even that interested in big asses, when you're certainly not going to create a relationship around the fact that, you know, your partner has a big ass. There's so much more, and you're not going to have a great sexual, intimate connection because of the ass or the tits. It's, you know, there's so much more around that. So media is really manipulating us and playing on men's basic instincts to create trauma in what it is that men really desire. And I am a big proponent around energy, right? We don't talk about this energetic connection that much. Finding ways, you know, when you really meet somebody that you really feel a deep, desirous connection to, it's energetic, okay? And you may be surprised by who that is, because it may not be someone with a big ass and big tits. It's the energy that you feel with a certain person will be what starts to create that desire within your body. So we have this whole wounded, traumatic, masculine beings that we've created, and we get a lot of horrible things that are happening. Masculine energy that's really traumatized and wounded is unable to perform in a healthy, pleasurable manner, because they don't know what to do with this energy. They don't know what to do with the energy. They don't know what to do with these beliefs. They don't know how to move forward in a positive, healthy way to connect with the feminine. So we really have to start shifting and changing all of these beliefs that we have to create healthier ways of beings as the masculine, feminine energy. And so what is that? What is the healthy way of being? And how do you do that? How do you get there? Well, you first have to look at some of these beliefs and question them yourself. Look at how you're feeling about certain things. Inquire more. Be really curious about your sexuality, about your desires, about what your partner likes, what you like. Ask questions without feeling shameful about it. Be open. Be more fluid around your sexuality. Know that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to take time. It's okay to lose your erection. And because, you know, this is like regenerating the energy again, accessing your desire again. So we have to start bringing back your own power in who you are as a unique sexual being. Who you are as a unique sexual being. Who you are as a masculine sexual energy that is full of love and pleasure and wants to know more, wants to understand your own body more, wants to understand your partner's body more, and know that it is absolutely necessary and okay to ask questions, to explore, to experiment more, right? To go slower, to take your time, to not know everything. It's okay. It's absolutely okay to not know everything, because you absolutely cannot know everything. It's not possible. If you have a wife or a partner, in order to get to know that person, you have to ask a lot of questions. They're going to be different than any other partner that you've had. And not only that, when you're with them, over time, their desires are going to change. Your desires are going to change. You are both going to change in physical manners and ways and things that you need and want. So you have to really keep this conversation open. You have to really keep exploring yourself, exploring what your sexual feelings are, what you desire in the moment, what you feel like trying, you have to constantly be open to this. So you can't possibly know everything or anything, because it's fluid and it's always changing. So we want to get away from feeling shameful, get away from feeling weak if you have to ask questions and say, literally, I don't know what to do here. I don't really know your body and I want to know it well. So I'm going to ask you lots of questions, Dave. I'm going to go slowly. I'm going to find out about your body. I'm going to find out what's really going on. I want you to talk to me and tell me more about your body. And I'm going to tell you about what I really love to do and what I desire and what gets me turned on right now in my life. You know, so really having conversations, being open. If we don't do this, we're going to keep sitting in this wounded masculine energy, and it's going to keep coming out in explosions of things like abuse and rape and harmful ways of expressing oneself. If we can take back this power and say, hey, I am an individual sexual being who wants to know about my sexuality and wants to know about my desires as I make my way through my life, it's going to be a much, much different process, a much different adventure for each and every one of you. And I want you to have a pleasurable sexual life. I want you to enjoy your partner fully, you know, really, for your entire life. It's absolutely possible, but we have to open and we have to disengage from this wounded. We have to rewrite our story completely so that we start off as, you know, that baby that's born through sex, right? And is fresh and new and curious and wondering and get reborn and start your sex life new right now, today, as who you are, tapping into your body. What do I feel? What's going on? Get my incantation. That will help me, that will help you a lot to start to have some different ways of thinking about sexuality. And maybe you want to get some deeper, you want to do some deeper exploration. Instead, you can come to me and we can do a private program. I do a Vital Energy Boost program for men that is transformational and takes all of this traumatic way of thinking and shifts it into energy that's pleasurable and blissful and loving and free-flowing and more vulnerable, but yet still holding on to this powerful, juicy, directed, masculine sexual energy. Okay? So, beautiful topic. Loved it. Love to hear any comments you have below. How are you doing in your, how would you like to go in a transition to a more pleasurable, loving, sexual, energetic expression? Are you doing that? Are you sitting in the wounded energy? Or maybe there's a belief that comes up as you're listening to this conversation that you think, oh my God, yeah, there's this belief. It's really not serving the masculine sexual energy at all. I'm going to write that down. Let's get conversation going. Let's talk and transform these old beliefs into beliefs that are more positive and loving. Okay? Thank you so much for coming. Love that you're here. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you around as often as possible. And I will see you again next week. Much lovemaking.